Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning and hope you're having a wonderful start to your day. We sure appreciate you guys coming on when you can live. We understand not everybody can, but of course, we turn this into the Doctors In podcast. Michael and Brahim, 1 and 2. And Brahim still in Motown. John, how are you? Fran, Orangeville. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming on. Rosa from Montreal. Sandy. And Brahim. Tina, Nova Scotia. And Nick from our staff is on with us this morning. Kevin, there he is, from Oshawa. Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia. Nellie, good morning. Chantal, Ottawa. Donna, Park Hill. And Jeanette, good morning. And Deb from Motown. And Marilyn, Kelowna, bright and early this morning. Dave, Muskoka. Arlene, good morning. And Crystal, how are you? Louise. And Nancy, Gore's Landing. And who's that from Gilmore? I didn't see it. Rose. And Marina, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Edith, good morning. She's from Nova Scotia too. And see, I can't see it. It's going up in there. I think that's Heidi. Vera, Newfoundland. Come back up, guys, if you can. Halifax. See, Georgie. Madeleine, Kippawa, Quebec. Jeanette. And Cynthia, how are you? Kathy. And Laurie from Cambridge. Patricia. And Donna from Newfoundland. Sandy, Vancouver, Washington. And I don't know. Betty Lynn. Hi, Betty Lynn. Fran, Tilsonburg. Elaine. How are you? Bonnie, Little Britain. And Joan. And Francis from Vaughan. Rita, a couple more guys and we'll answer. Gloria, New York. How are you? Carol, West Virginia. And Thea, how are you? Lori Lee from Ventura, California. Patricia from Florida. Judy, New Brunswick. Rose, good morning to you. And Bonnie from Annandale, Minnesota. Jeanette from Kapuskasing. Norma, Medicine Hat, Alberta. And Rosa, Linda from Niagara Falls. Right up in those clouds. Cheryl, West Virginia. Donna, Arlene and Elaine. Donna's saying hello to Arlene. There's Wendy from Markham. Kathy, good morning. Millika. I didn't mean to miss you, Millika. Eric. Bonjour. Janine. How are you? Carol, Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. John, Elgin, Illinois. And Bonnie said I missed her from London. Yvonne, PEI. And see, it goes up into the clouds, guys. I can't see it. Okay, let's get going. Tanya is asking a question about Botox. And I like the last part of it. If you disagree with Botox, Dr. Martin, what could I do to reduce this wrinkle? Well, okay, that's a good question. Now, what do I think of Botox? I don't know. Look, I'm always hesitant to talk about or endorse anti-aging surgery, okay, or injections like Botox. Look, they come with side effects. And one thing I've seen with Botox over the years is possible muscle paralysis and muscle damage. That's what I've seen over the years. And look, I'm not telling anyone, look, what to do or whatever. I'm an alternative guy, so I would say, look, try and, you're trying, and I don't blame people. They want to look good and whatever. But at the end of the day, if you take care of your metabolic health, okay, because one of the things that sugar does, sugar is toxic in so many ways. And one of the ways it's toxic is what we call AG, capital A, capital G, E, apostrophe, small s. Advanced glycation end products. Okay, that's a big word to mean glycation. What does that mean? Well, sugar attaches itself to hemoglobin, sugar, and then you can measure that by your A1C. So it attaches to red blood cells. Sugar does. And you can measure that. And we all know that if your A1C is above 5.4, you got insulin resistance for sure. Okay? Now, the other thing that sugar does, it attaches itself to protein in your skin, causes glycation, causes wrinkling, causes aging of the skin. That's what sugar does. And so if you eliminate as much as possible sugar, you're doing your body a big favor when it comes to anti-aging and obviously a lot of other things. And I find, okay, for skin, for me, I always talk to you about bone broth and, why it's so good for you, good for your gut, good for your hair, your nails, your skin. I like it. Okay? I like it. And on the skin itself, I like Rivera. I've used it for years and years and years. When I discovered pine bark and its powerful antioxidant effect, I had a skin product made from it. Okay? And I love it. And again, there's no magic, guys. Okay? We're all going to age. And, there's no magic. But you can take care of yourself. You drink water. Water is so good for your skin. It's, people are so dry and they don't even realize it. They're so dehydrated and their skin, that takes a toll. And they've always blamed, by the way, another thing, sun, on, sun damage. I find it to be the opposite of that. Now, again, I don't want anybody burning in the sun. But the sun is good for your skin. Don't burn in it. But it's good for your skin. It's vitamin D is very anti-aging. And like I was saying, bone broth is probably one of the best things you can do because it's collagen. It's a collagen protein. Collagen, your skin's made up of collagen. It keeps your skin tight rather than wrinkle. But we're all going to get wrinkles. It's impossible really to avoid. It's just that some get more than others. And I'm not telling people not to do Botox. You ask me, there's side effects to that. And, you got to be careful. But you're making that decision. I give you a little bit of insight from my point of view. Thanks, Tanya. I appreciate that question. Grace, I think I already answered this the other day. I think I got it twice. Lichen planus, we talked about that. Those are the, you'll see, I've seen lichen planus. I saw it quite a bit in the office. More, it's an autoimmune thing. And I see a lot of autoimmune in the office. Man, it was like crazy, especially in the latter years of my practice. A lot of autoimmune. Well, why? I was always a why guy. Leaky gut, the overuse of antibiotics, the overuse of non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, causing dysbiosis in the microbiome, and way too much autoimmune. And it's not getting better, it's getting worse. Okay, Denise, I was wondering if slow cooking meat to fully cook so it is tender makes it lose its nutrients like vitamin B12 and K2, etc. Look, I'm not too worried about that. And I would tell you, Denise, don't get into the weeds, okay? Because you're going to, you cook it and you're losing all your nutrients. You're not losing all your nutrients, okay, with cooking your food. I like my steak rare, by the way, like, medium rare. I like it rare. I do. And you probably are getting a little bit more vitamin at that time, maybe some more B12. And, but you know what? At the end of the day, you know my philosophy. If you're on the Titanic, don't worry about the deck chairs. Okay? Don't worry about the deck chairs. If you got metabolic syndrome, if you're in 93%, then it's eggs, meat, and cheese. Okay? Eggs, meat, and cheese. EMC. Now, there's better meat, better eggs, better cheese, and there's probably better ways to cook. And by the way, if you put them in a slow cooker, is that what you mean by that? Where, you're putting... I got no problem with that. As a matter of fact, all the vitamins will be there. I mean, you might get a little less, but I don't think so. And, the overarching principle, if you're on the Titanic, just get started. And don't worry about the deck chairs. Now, if you're down the road and you're doing really healthy and you can afford organic meat, everything organic, and find the best way to cook, I got no problem with that either. For people that are really take care of themselves and they want to fine tune that, I got no problem with that. But generally, I speak in generalities. And I'm not, if you eat meat, you're going to get your vitamins. Okay? And some cuts of meat, like steak, are better. Liver, better. But if it's meat, it's good. Okay? And it's a good question, Denise. I don't know. Slow cooking meat, depend if it to fully cook, meaning, do you mean when you're frying a steak? Or are you talking about slow cooking in a slow cooker? I'd be really good within its juices. Okay? No problem. Okay, thanks, Denise, for the question. June, is MSM and glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate good for joints? Yeah, it's good for joints. I like it. I never liked it on its own. I never liked MSM or chondroitin or glucosamine on their own. I'm a combination guy, a formula guy. And in order to get the results I needed in my practice, that's what I did. I was between my son and my son, I give him even more credit than I would take for myself because he's a real smart formulator. I like our formulas. We just found that if you put the right stuff together in a supplement, you're going to get better results. And I was a result driven. I had to practice. I had to look people in the eye. I had people looking at me like, Doc, when are you going to fix me? I had to get results. I had to face people, and I had probably 100,000 office visits in all my years. Somebody said the number, and I said, yeah, maybe. I saw a lot of people. Obviously people, repetition. I mean, we're all new patients because I did follow-ups with people. But I had to get results. I mean, I probably told you the story of probiotics. I used to send people, I remember, this is a long time ago, go to the health food store and pick up a probiotic. Even when probiotics weren't popular. But I never found one that was as good as the one I formulated. I knew what strains needed to be put together in order to kill yeast, for example, and heal leaky gut, for example. And I used to be able to show people leaky gut. I had to fix it. It had to get better. So you're asking a good question, okay? So when it comes to inflammation, if you got joint pain, you have inflammation, okay? And formulas that get rid of inflammation better work. They better work. Anyway, merci for the question. Okay, that was June. Claude is asking a question about how can one tell if caffeine is affecting their cortisol and adrenal? Well, you would know it. You would know it, Claude, because when you drink coffee, you might get real jittery or whatever. That's affecting your adrenal glands. And I used to tell my patients where that happened because I did a lot of work with chronic fatigue syndrome, which was an adrenal gland exhaustion. It was the adrenal glands were running on fumes, and it was cortisol through the roof, and then a real imbalance of cortisol from the adrenals. And for some people, they found that coffee made them jittery. You know what I think of coffee? The real vitamin C. I never want people to stop drinking coffee, ever. Even with adrenals. I used to tell them, well, drink the decaffeinated. It's not the coffee that's bothering your adrenals. I could prove it to them. It's not coffee, I said, that bothers. Oh, Dr. Martin, I can't drink coffee. No, you can drink decaf. And get a good water. It's called Swiss water process, decaf. A very natural way to decaffeinate the coffee bean. No problem. Coffee is one of the greatest, and I doubled down and tripled down and quadrupled down on this, and I mean it. Coffee is a tremendous multivitamin. Tremendous multivitamin. And it's a gift. Think about it. I mean, not everybody loves coffee, but most people do. Okay? And if you don't, you're weird. Okay? I used to tell that to my patient. You're weird. I would tell them that in a loving way. I love you, but you're weird. You don't like coffee? What's the matter with you? Dr. Martin, can I drink tea? Oh, come on. Why do you want to drink tea when you can drink coffee? And I used to allow them to have some tea, but I said, remember, tea's got oxalates in it. Okay? Coffee don't. Tea does. Okay? But guys, listen, you can have a cup of tea if you have to. You know, you English and Irish. I went over to Ireland, and this is years ago. I said, is there any coffee around here? I mean, you guys are all drinking tea. I feel sorry for you. Anyway, okay. No, but Claude, you'll know it, okay? When coffee bothers you, try the decaf, my friend. Try the decaf. Some people are just like that. Can't have, it's the caffeine. But coffee is good for you. 1,000 phytonutrients. One of the best things you can do for your blood sugar is drink coffee. It acts like metformin without the side effect. Okay, I love that question. Thank you, Claude. And Joanna, besides the reset, which we know works best, you got it. What are your thoughts on taking PGX? It's konjac, fiber, or glucosamine supplement for blood sugar. Look, in my office, I used konjac. Okay, years ago. You're talking more than 25 years ago. Okay? And to me, there's better stuff out there. But if you find that it helps you with your blood sugar, I got no problem with it. Okay? I just found a lot of people got bloating with it. They didn't like it. It was uncomfortable. And, you know, I tried it. And the glucosamine, yeah. It's been around a long time, by the way. And, you can try it if you want. I get no problem with that. I just, you know. I find our cortisol formula, by the way, is very, very good for blood sugar. And the reason it is, think about it for a minute. If you can level out your cortisol, okay, cortisol is what? It's that stress hormone. If you can level that out, okay, think about that. If you can level it out, it's really good for you, because cortisol, what it does naturally is elevate blood sugar. That's its job. It's its job to do that. Okay? Anywho, thank you for the question. Let's see here. Vince was born with Wolff-Parkinson's White syndrome. Okay. Diagnosed in 2005, and you had an experimental ablation. Okay, what is that? That is a congenital heart defect. You're born with it. And most people go through life, they don't even know they have it. Okay? So it's rare. What else do I know about it? Well, look, I would tell you, Vince, even before, because you're asking whether it comes back. I don't know if you can actually fix it. Probably with the ablation, that's what they were trying to do. You know what? I don't know if it can come back. But you always think, here's what my thinking on that would be, Claude. First of all, take care of your heart. How do you do that? What's the best things that you can do for your heart? Well, don't eat sugar. Why? Glycation. I talked about it earlier. It's part of atherosclerosis. That's what glycation does. It hardens arteries. It hardens skin. You lose your elasticity with glycation. Right? Look, reduce your glycation, reduce your inflammation. How do you reduce inflammation? Keep insulin down. Keep insulin down. And you keep insulin down by lowering your carbohydrates. Okay? I love antioxidants. I love for heart, Navitol. I like CoQ10. I would, if you were a patient of mine, Claude, I would have had you on with your congenital heart disease. I would have had you on CoQ10. What's CoQ10? Ubiquinol. Why do I like it? Because your heart has a lot of mitochondria, the heart muscle, so does your brain. And you want CoQ10 is essential for heart, and so is high DHA. You know me in oil. I love oil. Lubricate. You need, when you go for an oil change in your car, they do a lube job. They lubricate. Good idea. Your blood vessels need lubrication. And that's why high DHA is so good for your heart, and high DHA is so good for your eyes, and high DHA is so good for your brain. I love that. Okay? So, yeah, I think, Vince, if you keep doing that, you're going to be fine. As far as it comes back, I don't know. I just can't. I don't have enough experience to tell you with that. Okay? I really don't. Okay. Claire, I take thyroid support. Smart girl. You're off your meds for thyroid. Well, that, I don't know. You're not my patient. I did have heart palpitations occasionally. I did have. Is there anything else I can take with my tiredness? You're taking B12. I would have you on our multi-nutrient. You see, look, let me just say a few things here. Okay? If you have fatigue, your body's talking to you. Okay? Your body's talking to you. And that can be a sign that you have inflammation in your body. I wrote a book years ago, Secrets That Your Doctor Won't Share With You. And I talked about inflammation in that book. And that it was often silent. But if you're fatigued, it's often a sign that you have that silent inflammation going on. Your body reacts to that. It's saying, hello. Okay? Now, the thyroid formula, again, is so good for you and good for you for taking it. Most women I know should be on the thyroid formula. Some men, for sure. But women, almost for sure, because of their complex physiology. Women are complicated, if you didn't know it. They've got a lot of moving parts, women, compared to men. And I don't like the blending of the sexes, by the way. Any physician that tells you different, I can't understand it. There's so much difference in the endocrine system of a woman. The physiology is different. They got ovaries. It makes them complicated. Okay? And you got to deal with that because that affects your thyroid. But one thing I like too about the multi-nutrient, okay, what we used to call blood boost, okay? It touches all the bases. It really is for people that are just not up to snuff. It touches all the bases. There's no formula like it. And the only bad thing about multi-nutrient is trying to get it and keep it in stock. Like, you just can't make enough of it. Well, you got to understand that's not easy. That is a very, very finicky formula. And we need all the ingredients. And it's not always easy, okay? It's just the way it is. And then when people try it, you know how many tens of thousands of testimonies we have about that product? Hey, I tell people, well, Doc, how do I know if it's working? Well, if it didn't work in the first bottle, it ain't working in the second one. I'm not going to have to tell you. I used to tell my patients that. I'm sending you home. You're going to take this multi-nutrient, and you'll know. You'll know. Oh, yeah, Doc, I feel better with that. There you go. It's working. Like, I don't understand. Like, would you take, giving you an example, would you take, you got a headache, you took Advil or Tylenol or whatever, okay? Aleve or whatever, and you still got a headache. Would you take, you know what it is? I got to take more, I'm going to just keep taking it. Why would you take it if it doesn't get rid of your headache? Okay? And I'm not telling you to take non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, okay? I'm not telling you that. I'm just giving you an example. Like, when a product works, you know it. You know it. And that's why the multi-nutrients, like, I get people, they want to choke me to death because they're mad at me because we're out of stock. Doc, don't you love me? Yeah, I do love you. It ain't my fault. Like, that stuff is so difficult to make, our manufacturer, because you got to bring in about 100 different nutrients in there. I remember the manufacturer, this is years ago, saying to me, can you change the formula to make it easier for me? I can't. I'm sorry. I won't. I get results in the clinic. I got to look people in the eyeballs. And if it don't work, well, they're not happy puppies with me. Okay, so anyway, guys, it's one of the differences with me because I was in practice for 50 years, just about. And I still got to answer to you guys. Okay, thank you very much. So Claire, if you're still tired, you get on that multi-nutrient and let me know how you do. I'm just looking at Barb. I can't remember if I answered this or not the other day. Is exposure to sunlight harmful to someone with lupus? Yeah, it can be. Okay? If you have lupus, another autoimmune disease. Okay? And it involves connective tissue. And it can be very, very serious, lupus. And often those people become allergic to the sun. You know, what a terrible thing. No. Not all lupus, but just about. Yeah, you got to be really, really sensitive to the sun. Those are the people that I would have them taking vitamin D as a supplement. Okay? Guys, I'd rather you get in the sun if you can. Get in the sun. It is so good for you. Not just for vitamin D, but for melatonin, for your immune system, for your brain, for your heart, for your joints. Think of anything. You are a human solar panel. I doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down whatever down on vitamin D. I'm big on the sun, steak, and steel. Okay? Is there anything the sun isn't good for? Yeah, well, probably one thing, and that's lupus. Okay? I feel sorry for people. But again, lupus starts with leaky gut, and you got to start there to fix it. And in the meantime, you got to, for a lot of those people with lupus, they just can't get in the sun, but they need vitamin D, and they need to take a supplement of vitamin D. Okay? With K2, by the way. Okay? Really important to get K2. Okay. I think I answered all the questions. Yeah, because I answered Susan's about the blood calcium test and the ionized blood calcium test. Yeah, I answered that on Friday. Okay. Guys, we sure enjoy question and answer Friday and Monday. Usually it's Monday too. Almost invariably, we got to do 2 programs of question and answer. You know what? Good for you guys for asking questions. I want to be able to answer questions. Okay? Really important. Okay, we got a great week coming. Tell your friends. Tell your family. We love you dearly. We'll talk to you soon.